Alright, today I'm going to show you how to tie a pretty popular knot for fishing, and you might have heard of this. It's called the Palomar knot. It's pretty easy to tie. It takes 10 or 15 seconds once you practice it. You can use it with all different kinds of lines. I've got braid here. You can use it with fluorocarbon or monofilament. I probably tie this 90% of the time when I'm bass fishing or just whatever. If you're a fly fisherman, you don't tie this knot very often. There's a lot of other knots they use, but this works really well for pretty much everything I do. All right, so get started. I've got my line here. This will be the line coming from my rod and reel, and this little zip tie is going to be our lure today. So to get started, the first thing a lot of people do, which I do too, it's faster, is you'll double over the line like this. Take about, I didn't take quite enough, but about a foot and a half of line, double it over itself, and you've got this little loop here. Now, again, you can start the knot like this. It's faster, but sometimes when you get that loop, to get it through the eye, you've kind of got to pinch it down a little bit, and that can create a little wear and actually make your knot a little bit less strong. So if you're not in such a hurry, if you can, it's best to just use this method I'll show you next to start tying your knot. So you're going to take just a single strand of your line, don't loop it over itself, and you're going to put that single strand right through the eye of your hook like this. You're going to pull out about a foot and a half or so of that line. If you have a larger lure, you're going to want to pull out more line, and you'll see why in a second. It's because you're actually going to put the whole lure through a loop. And if you don't have enough line out, you won't be able to do that. So I'm going to pull about a foot and a half or so of line out here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the end I just put through the eye, I'm going to loop it back through in the opposite direction. And that gives me this nice loop where the line is doubled over itself. And I didn't have to mash the line down at all to get it to go through the loop. So now the knot's going to be stronger. So what I'm going to do next, I'm right-handed, so I've got the loop in my right hand, and you're going to hold on with your other hand. You're going to have to hold on to this end. So you're going to make sure that the tag end doesn't slip or move while you're tying the knot. So now I've got the loop here, the tag end in my other hand, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to just tie an overhand knot, or whatever you want to call it, a granny knot, but I'm not going to pull it all the way down. So now I've got the line like this. I'm going to just loop it under itself like this, and that's going to be my overhand knot. Now make sure you keep holding on to this other end, the tag end, with your other hand. Now I'm going to take that loop I just formed, and this is what I was talking about a second ago. I'm going to take that big loop and put my whole entire lure through that loop. And so now I'm basically done with the knot. I'm going to pull that tight. Make sure, again, you hold on to this tag end over here with your other hand. I'm going to moisten the knot with saliva or water just to help keep the friction down. We don't want to weaken the knot. And then I'm going to pull it down tight. So don't pull it down super tight. If you do that again, that'll create friction and it could break the knot. The fish and the lure, while you're reeling it in, those are going to pull on this knot. It's actually going to make it tighter. So see how I've got this end that comes from the rod and I'm pulling it. That's not going anywhere. So that's the Palomar knot. Last step, you want to make sure that you cut the knot. You're probably going to need some braid scissors if you're using braid like I am, but I got it cut there. So now I've got the knot right here. It's a pretty small knot, very strong, works with any type of line. So that's a Palomar knot. So thank you for watching. Watch some of my other videos where I actually catch some fish, and I'll see you next time.